Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 7.
It is Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day. Polls are open across the state and voters are lining up to have their voices heard. This as the candidates in the race for president make their final pitch.
We are going to win 4 more years in the White House.
We can end the presidency that has divided this nation.
Eyewitness News is your election authority with team coverage throughout the morning. We want to start things off with meteorologist Scot Haney. Since a lot of voters are heading to the polls right now and waiting in line outside, what can they expect?
Grab that coat to vote. That's what I'm saying, because
it's
going to be a little chilly out there during the day today. Temperatures are actually going to be about 10 to 12 degrees below where we should be. 57 is the normal high. As you can see, by noon, we're only between 41 and 46 degrees. We might sneak to 47, 48 along the shoreline, but by about 8 o'clock, we're talking about 32 to 37 degrees. So it's a pretty chilly day today, and that wind is only going to make it feel substantially cooler. We do have some rain and snow showers out there for you. Those snow showers are reserved for northwest and northeast Connecticut in the northern sections of Litchfield, Tolland, and Windham counties. Some rain showers in the greater Hartford area, and that'll be the trend for the next 2 to 3 hours. As you can see from our Waterbury iCam, not a lot going on there. You've got nice quiet conditions. Temperature, look at the wind gusts. Look at that wind gust, 53 miles an hour. That just occurred at about 7 o'clock this morning. So that's pretty impressive. 26-mile-an-hour wind gust at Windsor Locks with a temperature of 38. That's going to make that 38 feel substantially colder. 36 in Storrs with a 24-mile-an-hour wind gust, and Hartford 40 degrees with a 19-mile-an-hour wind gust. So the temperatures are actually a bit above average, but the wind makes it feel a bit colder. All right, so as we take a look at the satellite and radar, we've got a clipper system that's moving through. It's not going to be with us all day. For the next 3 hours, we are expecting some rain and snow showers, especially up in northern Connecticut. So grab the umbrella, carry it with you, rather to be safe than sorry, especially if you're going to be waiting in line at the polls. As we take a look at Hartford, good morning to you. Things are looking good there. There are the current temperatures above average, 36, the typical overnight low. Everybody's above average, but with the wind out there, 16 to 21 to 22 miles an hour with gusts to 35 miles an hour in Bridgeport, 36 in Groton. That makes it feel like it's in the upper 20s and low 30s out there. So once again, bundle on up. Here are your headlines. Partly cloudy skies to start, cold and windy today, and then warmer tomorrow. We're talking about a significant warm-up that's going to take place starting tomorrow. That's going to last for several days. Temperatures today, once again, in the mid to upper 40s, becoming sunny, breezy, and chilly. Sun was up at 6:26. Sun sets at 4:42. Speaking of chilly, I'm getting kind of hungry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, look at these quiet weather with temperatures that are going to be way above average. By Sunday and Monday, we're talking about temperatures that are going to be in the low 70s. Unbelievable. Make your golf reservations now for the upcoming weekend, because you're going to be outdoors enjoying this wonderful, wonderful weather. So today, morning rain and snow showers giving way to partly to mostly sunny skies. A cool day today with the wind, and then Wednesday through Monday looking good. 7:03, I'm meteorologist Scot Haney, sending it back to Nicole in Nalepa.
All right, thanks, Scott. That's our treat, right? It is now 7:03. Eyewitness News is your election authority for this historic election day. A record number of ballots have already been cast for either President Donald Trump or former Vice President Joe Biden. And today, millions more of Americans will be heading to the polls. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Skylar Henry takes us inside the candidates' final push for support.
President Trump and Joe Biden each visited cities with historical significance yesterday.
We can be a little bit superstitious.
The president held a midnight rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan, just as he did before his 2016 victory.
Tomorrow we're going to make history once again.
The former vice president was in Pittsburgh, where he kicked off his campaign in 2019.
Because you represent the backbone of this country. Hard-working families. We're asking nothing but a fair shot.
Throughout the day, both candidates urged Americans to vote.
Get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, grab him by the tie, say, let's go, boss.
I believe the message is going to be loud and clear. It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home.
Voting during the coronavirus pandemic has reshaped the election process. At least 98 million ballots have already been cast. That's more than double the early vote in 2016.
5 voters in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire kept their midnight tradition alive, casting the first in-person votes on Election Day.
5 votes for Joe Biden.
In some states, it may take days to count all the votes, so legal experts are urging patience.
What would actually be a failure would be if we failed to count legitimately cast ballots simply because of some arbitrary cutoff.
President Trump plans to spend tonight at the White House, while Biden has 2 more events in Pennsylvania today. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
Now, polls across the state opened just about 1 hour ago, and we are seeing long lines already across Connecticut. This year's voting experience is going to be unique in itself. Everyone must wear a mask. Social distancing may make lines seem a little longer, and with people keeping 6 feet between them, that's definitely going to add a little bit to the length of those lines. Voting booths will be disinfected between voters, and some locations will have disposable pens and papers. Voters are encouraged to try and avoid peak times, like when people are headed to and home from work. New Haven is hoping history doesn't repeat itself this election day. 4 years ago, the long lines there caused people looking to register to be turned away. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Mark Robbins explains how the city plans to avoid that situation this year.
Mayor Justin Elliker doesn't want the Elm City to relive the nightmare of 4 years ago. People waiting in line for hours, many never getting the chance to fulfill their civic duty.
A few years back, New Haven had some real challenges with a really long line for Election Day registration. We have a very clear protocol for people lining up within City Hall with social distancing, and we have 20 terminals so that we can really hammer through that line quickly to make sure that people are able to get in here, get registered, vote, and get out and on their way.
That's good news for so many who will be voting in person today. The extra terminals will combine with the extra planning and extra staff in the hope the voting process will be speedy, efficient, and secure.
It feels incredibly important this year more than ever.
Mark Robbins, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Experts say the country should be prepared. It is possible we may not know who won the presidential election tonight. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Patricia Del Rio explains why results could take a few days.
If the margin is close, like in any race, to get to a final tally, it always takes time.
UCLA political science professor Dan Thompson says a record surge of mail-in votes triggered by the coronavirus pandemic could leave some states needing more time to count their ballots. The rules for processing and counting mail-in votes vary from state to state, and most begin processing those ballots before Election Day. But when it comes to actually counting the ballots, at least 30 states legally can't begin until Election Day. That includes Pennsylvania, where a handful of counties won't begin counting until November 4th.
Election administrators have been focused on this issue for many, many months. And I think by and large, they've been preparing for exactly these types of concerns.
In some states, mail-in ballots arriving after Election Day could also delay the final results. The question of how late those ballots will be accepted has prompted a number of legal challenges this year. Those outcomes are part of a record-setting number of election-related lawsuits this year, with more than 300 filed in 46 states, and experts believe we'll likely see more legal challenges once the voting tally begins. Patricia Del Rio, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Remember, Eyewitness News is your election authority, so keep the Channel 3 app handy all day long. You can find your polling place, share your experience when you vote, and let us know if you run into any problems. Of course, you can also get breaking news push alerts as results come in tonight. Also, starting tonight at 7 o'clock, Channel 3 will have comprehensive national coverage of the race for the White House, including live updates and results from Connecticut twice an hour. From 8 until 11, we are live here on the Channel 3 streaming news app and WFSB.com with expert analysis of the statewide picture. And then join us for live team coverage on Eyewitness News at 11. Thank you so much for tuning in to Eyewitness News this morning. Remember, you can get news and weather updates anytime on that Channel 3 app as well. Happy Election Day, everyone.